Welcome.
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 To Parking Lot Movie Reviews. We watched Obsession. And what a fun movie-going experience. What a fun time in the theaters. What a heartbreaking time in the theaters. I'm so glad we saw this in the movies.
Yeah, for sure. You were saying earlier about how you think that this would be good for horror buffs and whatnot, and I think that there's there's definitely that to it. It depends on the kind of horror you're into. There's a surface level horror to it for sure.
Yes, that I think a lot of people in the movie theater, just based off of reaction, I think did like it on the surface level for sure. Yeah. When you get kind of below that surface level and you start kind of seeing it for what it is, and it's not hidden, the movie's not hiding what it is. It's just they did a really good job of conveying a message without it being oh, we're just kind of subtly hiding the message, and if you get it, you get it. It's just no, there's certain parts of this film where they're just very clear about this is about a different type of horror that people can really experience in real life, and that a lot of women experience.
Yes.
It was a very impactful film, you know? It was, even from the beginning, it takes you on a journey. In the beginning, it's very kind of whimsical with these relationships between friends.
Yeah.
And then it just starts slowly building into something different.
Just completely different.
The
menacing.
the horror increases, the unknown, the
unnerving nature
yes.
of people, and the ways in which they will reason things with themselves.
Absolutely.
Despite it being
very obvious from the very beginning.
Yeah, and despite it being against anyone's best interest.
Yes,
There are selfish overtones at times.
1000%.
When you wouldn't believe that there would be.
Yeah. I did not know what to expect going into this movie, other than, hey, you want to watch this horror film called Obsession? And I was always down for a horror film.
Yeah.
But wow, midway through the movie, I just turned to you and I was he is awful.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
This is fucked up, I think I said. I was this is incredibly fucked up. And I think it is a very important message, but it's just done so well, right? We see a lot of movies that have an underlying message, especially horror, right?
Yeah.
Sci-fi, horror.
Yeah.
We've talked about this many times, how it has real world consequences, or real world
understandings and issues, but applied in this metaphorical sense, or as an allegory.
Yes, and this film does a beautiful, heartbreaking job of showing that, while also keeping the audience entertained and I don't know.
I mean, honestly, unnerved. I will say at times, I went through many different, feelings in many ways too, intellectual feelings, emotional feelings, at one point or another, physical, discomfort.
Yeah.
And, I've never sat in a film in a long time, in a very long time, I'm talking decades, and got genuine, all over my body goosebumps.
Yeah, I cried. I cried at a couple of parts because it was so relatable and also, again, very heartbreaking. That is truly heartbreaking and maddening.
Yeah. That
I found myself in tears. So this film is going to, it is a roller coaster of emotion, but in such a good way.
Yeah.
I would suggest this film to almost anyone.
Honestly.
We talked about, somebody could while we were walking out of the movie, we were saying, I was wow, this is something I think people in the theater could be wow, this was wildly entertaining. What a wild story.
Yeah. Oh,
and
it was funny
kind
and
of surreal and scary, and I enjoyed it, right? That's very surface level for sure. A lot of people can get that.
That's what you get out of it, you know?
But then there is just such a strong undertone of control, of manipulation.
Very much,
of gaslighting, also of not understanding the full picture of somebody's experience. Also, I found myself getting upset with the other characters in the film as well. Alongside the villain, which I can call him a villain. In this film. So it was just an all-around emotional, horrific film. So it's a triumph for sure.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that I could say that a lot of like stories get out of this, or it was like a good rendition or contribution to the universe of this type of story, is the genie story. Ooh. The monkey's paw story, where you make your wish, and the wish, it doesn't discriminate, it doesn't discern what your intentions are behind something. It just provides you the literal interpretation of what you're wishing.
You're totally right. And a lot of films have like tackled that.
Yeah.
But this one is one of the most successful, 1000%.
I firmly agree. There's a really interesting reference to this type of wishing in a comedy show we used to watch, called What We Do in the Shadows, where they come across a genie, and like they're very specific.
Be careful what you wish for, right? Like that's a common thing that people talk about. Yeah. And yeah, that is definitely like in this film as well. Like you said, for the horror buffs out there that have seen other material that like tackles this, you're gonna enjoy it. Yeah.
There's even like this like interesting subtlety of honesty throughout it as well. It's almost as if in this world, in this universe in which this exists, it is considered, if you know about it, normal.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like, oh, if you don't take it seriously, then that's kind of your problem.
Surreality exists. Yeah, there are people that just understand it and know what it does. Yeah, and I really love films like that. Like, it's basically your world, right? But with like a twist, you know, and it's just like where magic and kind of it's okay.
It's really real.
Yeah.
You know, another thing about this world, this universe that was built, is that and this is a subtlety, like a nod towards like the filmmaker, is that a lot of the brands in the movie were just completely original, in-universe only brands.
Very cool.
And I thought that was awesome.
The props were fantastic.
Yeah, the props were fantastic. Costuming.
The acting.
Yes, the acting was
the main
superb.
All of them. Every single person in that film.
Yeah.
Was fantastic. Great, very young cast, people that you haven't really seen in film or TV. At least I hadn't.
Yeah,
and
hoping to see them more.
I was blown away.
Absolutely,
especially by the female lead, the woman lead.
Yeah,
like it gave, like you said, gave us chills. I cried at moments. I laughed at moments.
Yeah.
I was grossed out at times.
Oh my gosh.
Was such a ride that I think so many people need to see, and it's important for social commentary as well. Like we said, it was just incredible. I'm gonna be thinking about this one for a while.
Agreed. Yeah, so I've seen, you know, a few things rumbling around the internet about like a new Scream Queen is born when it comes to like the lead actress, and it's like that is, I think, like, yes, I can agree. However, I think that there's so much more.
So much
like,
more.
What
she
was
able to portray.
Yeah, the range in this acting here, like you really hit the nail on the head when talking about like that this was like, for as young a cast as they are, and how seemingly, you know, you would equate age with experience, and how, you know, maybe they're just getting into it. It's just like, no, this person was like seasoned and delivered and I got more than I thought we were gonna get.
Absolutely. For sure. I have not watched a horror film that I've felt like this. You know, this strongly about. It was so good, and I said, what a great balance of giving the audience what they want in a horror film, like I said, and kind of like aware of itself, very funny at times and things like that. Yeah. But then tackling this big issue of manipulation and what men in society often do to women.
And how women are generally blamed for it, or vilified,
or not believed, or it was just.
It winds up being this like, and it winds up being this compound of negativity on how women are viewed, and whether or not you like believe them, listen to them, allow them the space to act, react, and just exist,
and to have their own autonomy, their own bodily autonomy, truly, like at the root of this. So fantastic. fantastic job. I'm ready to rate it unless you want to get some ending notes in there.
Geez. It's just, again, it's a movie that I think any cinema watcher, honestly anybody.
Yeah.
This is an everybody movie where it's like, again, if you're into horror, you're into gore, you're into psychological, you're into
social
a cool,
commentary.
fun movie, social commentary. I think a few more things about the way it looked. Color grading, you know, like I'm not like a super big nerd on the color grading, but like it gave you this tone, this tonality in the color of the film that kind of would subtly transition. It was always almost as if it was like humid and like uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
yeah,
like there was this surrounding eeriness that I feel as though was required to convey some of these feelings.
The stress.
So it's like everything was like a little
It was
icky.
very stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything was
like,
a little stressful and
yeah.
icky. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about all I've got. I'm ready to rate it with you.
All right.
All right.
On 3.
1, 2, 3, 5.
4.5. All right. So between the two of us, 4.75. Go watch this movie in theaters. In the theater. Yeah. The audience reaction is also very interesting.
Yeah.
Something to note.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch it.
Yeah. Watch it with friends. Watch it with yourself. Be superstitious.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.